Did you know the story of a king who didn't eat food for an entire year? The reason will truly amaze you because this was a king who possessed everything and was the lord of the entire earth. This is a story from Srimad Bhagavatam which is truly inspirational. Nabaka's son was Ambarisha, the ruler of the world and owner of immense wealth. Yet he had wisdom to understand that all of it was temporary and he didn't involve himself in the worldly pleasures. He was a great devotee of Lord Vishnu in the truest sense. Seeing his deep devotion, Lord Vishnu was so pleased that he gifted the Sudarshana Chakra to the king. The divine weapon protected both the king and his kingdom. One day, the king heard the sanctity of Dwadashi Vrata, a special fast dedicated to Lord Vishnu which involves a complete fast on the previous day Ekadashi. The king wanted to do this Vrata for a complete year. At the conclusion of Vrata during Kartika Masa, King Ambarisha fasted for 3 full days, where he had went to the forest called Madhuvana to worship Lord Vishnu. After offering gold and cows to the people as gifts, he returned back to palace to do Parana, breaking his fast, with his wife by his side. At that very moment, sage Durvasa appeared before him. The king quickly stood up, offered the sage an honorable seat, and requested him to accept his hospitality by taking a meal at his palace. Durvasa was pleased by king's humility and agreed, saying that he would first perform his morning rituals and then he'll return to eat. However, Durvasa took a very long time to return. Meanwhile, King Ambarisha got into a dilemma. If he failed to eat that day, the vrata would remain incomplete, and if he eats without the honored guest, it would be considered a sin. So the king's advisors suggested that wetting his lips with a few drops of water with tulsi leaves would count as breaking the fast without disrespecting the honored guest. Following their advice, King wetted his lips with the sacred water and waited for the sage to return. When Durvasa finally came back and learnt what had happened, he was furious. He accused the king of starting the Parana, breaking the fast, without honoring his guest and claimed that Ambarisha was blinded by power and had insulted his age. In anger, Durvasa plucked a hair from his matted hair and created a fearsome being called Kritya, who rushed at Ambarisha with a sword. But the king stood still, accepting his fate without resistance. Before Kritya could even strike, Sudarshana Chakra appeared before and burned Kritya to ashes. Then without hesitating, the Chakra turned towards Durvasa. Terrified, Durvasa fled, but the Sudarshana Chakra pursued him relentlessly. He first ran to Lord Brahma and pleaded for help, but Brahma refused, saying he was merely a servant of Lord Vishnu and couldn't interfere between the Lord and his weapon. Durvasa then rushed to Lord Shiva, who also directed him to seek refuge in Lord Vishnu himself. With no other option, Durvasa ran to Vaikunta, the home of Lord Vishnu, and fell at his feet, begging for protection from the Sudarshana Chakra. Lord Vishnu, amazed, asked why the Chakra was chasing him. With a face full of shame, Durvasa narrated the whole story and admitted that he had offended Ambarisha, the Lord's devotee. Lord Vishnu smiled and said, I am as helpless as Brahma and Shiva in this matter. I do not act independently as I am bound to my devotees. A true devotee who surrenders everything to me wins my heart, and I can never abandon such a soul. To insult my devotee is to insult me. He then gently advised Durvasa, since you two are my devotee, go and seek forgiveness from Ambarisha. Perhaps he will request Sudarshana to spare you. Durvasa immediately ran back to King Ambarisha and fell at his feet, begging for forgiveness. Seeing this, Ambarisha was deeply embarrassed. He humbly prayed to Sudarshana, asking it to calm down and spare the sage. Pleased by King's sincerity and devotion, Sudarshana Chakra stopped and left Durvasa unharmed. King Ambarisha then told the sage that he was deeply saddened that he couldn't serve the sage properly when he had arrived. Amazed and humbled, Durvasa learned that during his entire journey from Brahma to Shiva to Vishnu and back, a full year had passed. And in that time, King Ambarisha had not eaten a single morsel of food, waiting patiently to complete his fast after honoring his guest. Overwhelmed by this, Durvasa said, at last he is blessed to have met such a noble soul, Ambarisha, the ideal devotee of Lord Vishnu. The takeaway from this video is, God is bound by devotion. Lord Vishnu himself declares that he belongs to his devotees and cannot abandon them. This shows the greatness of true Bhakti, which even the divine honors above everything else. If you have liked this video, please like, share and subscribe to my channel for many more fascinating stories. Thank you.